Radio Australia. And I tell you what, I don't know where the accent came from, but it just snuck in there. Edge Radio Australia. It is time for the Genius Zone. We, of course, have our resident genius right here, ready to rock and sausage roll. Lovely to see you, Terry.
Lovely to see you too.
I don't know where these accents is coming from.
Yes, I think it's from France, no?
Yeah.
Yes, that.
Can someone just come in with a baguette and a bottle of champagne?
Yeah, look, we're meant to say Edge Radio Australia.
Sorry, love.
Yeah,
sorry,
okay.
Sheila.
So,
all right, we're into this.
Yeah, and you can get your app too, so download it. We're going to have a real life session tonight.
Ooh, this is going to be good.
My
Are you ready?
gosh.
Ooh.
So
we have a special guest.
With a little bit of a disclaimer that there won't be any hypnosis, but
okay, no.
It'll still be a live
no
session.
Hypnosis?
No.
So if I'm feeling sleepy, if I get up and do the chicken dance, what should I?
Well, if you get up and do the chicken dance, then I'm a genius because you did it without me putting you to sleep. No, just joking.
She's that good. She's that good at it. All right, let's jump into it. We have a special guest ready to pop into the screen. Would you like to do the intros, please?
Yes, Aaron, we have the gorgeous, empowered coach herself. This lady is real talented, and her name is Sharyn Unit. Bring her on.
Hello, Sharyn.
Yeah, and perhaps, Sharyn, hi, how are you?
I'm good.
That's great.
Good.
And, the first, aspect of this is making a statement. So let's get you to make a statement about what you want to achieve. So, and I want you to do it so that you're going to be challenging yourself to say it in the positive. So it might be like Aaron might say, I want to be the best racing car driver on the planet Earth.
Why not?
With all these women around me.
Oh, jeez. Sounds
Now
like the
we're
life.
getting really
Can I have that one,
specific.
please? Yeah, very specific. Now, been there, done that. All right.
Yeah. So, yes, you get my drift, though. If it is I want to be, healthy and I want to feel, alive every day. I want to wake up and I want to feel empowered. Tell me yours, Sharyn. And make that statement.
I want to be my most empowered self that can fulfill the role of being a loving mother, whilst also balancing my love for humanity in the way that I provide my services. Finding that balance to be able to live
it's not easy, is it? See how tricky it is?
Peaceful life that I desire.
Sharyn just got here.
Helping people.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And it is all about helping people. I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love it because you kind of went deep as well. So thanks for that. When you stumbled over myself, you obviously came to me because you're an empowered coach yourself. And I'm just going to ask you this question. What, if I had a magic wand, what would you want me to do for you?
Help me to feel more seen by people in terms of what I do.
Okay.
I feel like I've reached a certain point and then I'm like, oh, what am I meant to be doing here? It's just been a bit of a stagnant 6 months.
You don't feel seen. Is that what you're saying? You want to feel more seen?
I don't like the idea of feeling like I've got to put a lot of work in to be able to receive inquiries for work. I just want enough to. I don't want to be bombarded. I think that's why I'm putting a signal out of I don't want too much. I don't want too much. So therefore, nothing's coming because I don't want too much. I just want. I don't want my whole day to.
You don't want too much of what?
Oh, too much demands on me, like feeling like, oh, I've got 3 clients that I've got to work with today. Or I don't know if I've never had that happen yet, but
good problem to have, though.
Am I reading this? Okay, like I think you want what, let's face it, just about everybody wants. Can we have people just come in an orderly manner, okay, at a pace that works for us, okay?
Line up.
How good would that be?
That would be.
Yep, that would work. That would be nice. If you had a retail store, everybody just comes in every 5 minutes, nicely paced. Forget about the lunch rush. Well, good, right?
That's it. And, viewers at home, if I can challenge you to do the same thing as I've just said to Sharyn, and that is state what you truly want. Now, I just correct me if I'm wrong. You came to me to actually release kilos and get your body into, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
right.
I feel that will impact everything else.
Yeah. If I was going to listen to everything you just said, because it was very hard to define that, if you don't mind me saying, I didn't really hear that. But what I did hear, and it's interesting that we learn to listen to what people don't say. It's really
so true,
so weird.
Yeah.
But you actually said about being seen, and that element of not being seen. So there's, we've already had a session, and so we're going to let's rehash that a little bit, because firstly, we know that the rules are there are no rules. Yeah.
Great rule.
So, the fact is that if someone comes along and says, oh, right, you're going to join this big guru company. Now you've got to exercise every day. You've got to join a gym. Make sure you don't eat this, you don't eat that. They've given you a list this long. You shut out. Even if you are committed, your brain, there's a part of because we're all rebellious.
A bit overwhelmed? Is that what it is?
No, we're rebellious. The subconscious mind's going, I'm not doing that. You want me to quit? You want to quit the sugar? No, because you can't eat fats, you can't eat carbs, you can't eat sugar, right?
Yep.
What we're doing is, have you ever heard of Paul McKenna?
Yes.
Okay, so Paul McKenna is one of my colleagues and also one of my mentors.
Right.
So I don't claim to own I can make you thin with my words, or the rules that there are no rules that were involved in it, which is, shall we go ahead with it? Do you remember what the whole sequence was? I eat when I'm hungry. Can you answer it? Say it again.
Hungry.
I eat when I'm hungry. Yes. So hear that, Aaron?
No, we've been talking about this earlier today. There we go.
Yep.
Just sorry to interrupt on this, but I just want to throw something out there to the world. The little sign has come up to tell me that we're getting comments from destinations we can't see. So if you, which we really appreciate, and it's great to see during the week. Yeah. But if you actually want to be involved in the conversation, if you've got a question or a comment, best place to go is to go to YouTube. Like and subscribe while you're there. Why not? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But that way it comes through YouTube and we can actually put your message up or answer your question live.
Yeah.
So some destinations won't let us.
Yeah. And if you want a hot seat chat, we'll go deep with you. Get in contact with Aaron. We'll bring you on the show.
That's right.
So the first one is, I eat when I'm hungry. So, that may seem like an easy thing. Oh, I eat when I'm hungry. Aaron was actually saying this today, that sometimes you think, oh, I'm going to eat because it's breakfast time. Yep. So 7 a.m. rolls around. Yep. Well, we're supposed to eat.
7 a.m. Who eats it?
I know, not you, I know. But I don't eat breakfast at all because I don't feel hungry at breakfast. But we were given a primitive switch when we were babies, and that primitive switch allowed us to cry when we were hungry because we felt it,
Sure.
But somewhere along the line, that switch got switched off.
Okay.
It just did. And, we got overruled by rules.
Society.
It's 8 o'clock breakfast, not 7, 12 o'clock lunch, 6 o'clock dinner. So when you will develop, you'll find that your body will sink. Actually, on that, our bodies are so powerful. And I suppose because I've been doing this work for a long time, I can tell you just how powerful our bodies are. So I won a cruise to the Bahamas.
Nice.
And it was lovely. And, as I said, I don't eat breakfast, but I tend to eat larger meals at nighttime. And what actually happened was we'd get up and we're on a cruise and there was all this food, like luscious food, succulent, like this and that, and salad and meat. And you know what I was having for breakfast? I was getting a steak. I was getting a good old steak, potatoes, getting everything, and I was just getting stuck into it.
Oh, come on.
And then dinner time, I was And this is going on for days and days, and I'm saying to Ian, I don't know what's going on here. And then, ding, I'm on the wrong side of the world.
Right. So you've spun your day around the other way.
But my body didn't change. Do you see?
Okay.
So the body clock knows.
Sure. No, that makes sense.
So I was still listening to my body. So you'll find that even if you are in a family situation, it is nice to have some kind of structure, especially with kids.
No doubt.
You know, you will find yourself falling into that routine. But eating when we're hungry means asking yourself, like, especially when you're redoing it. Can I ask you, Sharyn, have you become more attuned to that?
Yeah, and I think I actually was already in the process of becoming more attuned to that over the past few months, because I feel that I've been guided on a journey that's led up to this point, and I've been laying the groundwork so that this would work even better, if that makes sense.
Yep.
I feel like I've been guided by my higher self with some other things that
your
I've
higher self told you before you met me. That's great. I love that. That's all right. I coach in my dreams, so it's all good. I totally get that. So can you just explain it to the audience? So the difference between just eating for the sake of eating and now, can you feel it? Like your body, you can tell when you feel hungry?
I know that I've probably got a bit more to go, but I feel that I am getting more, like, okay, as an example, sometimes at dinner time I'll say to my partner, oh, I'm actually not hungry, but I'm going to eat anyway because it is dinner time. But I know that in my body I could probably go for another 2 or 4 hours or something before my body goes, you want to have a snack? So I've got the awareness within myself, but I might not exactly be obeying that obeying it. But like I know that that's a journey, and I will get better at that. But it's like I'm not going to go making my partner wait for 3 hours just because I'm not hungry. You know what I mean? Like,
and
it's just working things
you don't
out.
have to. You know, my mum laughs at me when I eat because I take food very seriously. So
you're an intentional eater.
I am have you noticed that?
I noticed.
So my mum laughs because when I'm with my food, I'm with my food. And
don't get in the way.
I'm gonna.
You may lose fingers.
Oh, look, there is a joke. There's a running joke when I was a teenager. I won't go on to that, but my friends know, and they're still friends with me today, and they still bring it up about the hot dog incident. Okay. That's for another time. However, I guess being intentional about the food, I'm going to get to that. So the first one is eating when you're hungry. The second one is, remember what the second one is? Drum roll. Stop when you feel.
Stop when I feel good.
Yay! She got it.
There you go.
Got it. Now, this is where I'm going to get to the hot dog story.
All right. Okay.
But give us your kind of take on it, and have you yet made any new revelations to listen to when you feel good and stop?
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
That's a tough one.
I'm hearing no.
I'm better at not eating. Well, like, I'm better at delaying food, but if I am eating something, I'm very much one of those types that I feel wrong if I haven't finished the plate. Like, as an example, usually I've got the plate and I'm licking the last bit of the dressing off the plate because I'm hungry. Like, I want it. I'm hungry.
Bad girl.
At that point. Okay. But I find that my best method is if I reduce the size of the amount of food that I'm putting.
No, you're saying smart. You're saying that. No, I don't agree with either of you.
Of course not.
I'm sorry. I'm going to be rebellious here, and I'm going to have to do some hypnotic wording in this without the trans.
All right.
Okay, so the hypnotic wording. So when you want to make a point to a client, and I'm doing a bit of teaching here, you tell a story. Because if you tell a story, you're not directly pointing the finger, and their subconscious is actually listening to your story. But the whole point of it is not so they can hear your story, but so that they can associate and attach themselves to their own story. And the one that I used to tell people was this: hey, do you drive, Sharyn?
Yeah.
Do you drive, Aaron?
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, how expensive is petrol right now?
Cheap as chips.
Okay. So, all right, just got rid of my hybrid and got myself a blooming SUV.
Great timing there.
That
You
was
did well.
really good timing. Okay, hear me out on this. How many times have you filled up your car? And if you're stingy like me, you don't even fill it up, especially not at the moment, and then go down to the next petrol station and fill it up again?
Well, I'd say never.
Yeah, exactly.
But okay, right? I'm wondering where you're going. Okay, I can't follow this train.
All right, so you can't follow. Can you follow this train? Because everybody's going to benefit from listening to this, by the way. So if you are the kind of person, this is very classic, oh, we can't waste that. Can't waste a potato. Oh, my gosh, there's starving kids in Ethiopia. And
Wrap it in foil, send it to Africa. Come on.
Name one. I mean, really, okay, so my point is this is where the attachment to the subconscious is. So the logic bypasses it and goes, what's she on about? She's talking about, do you fill your car up with petrol and then do you go down the road, especially with the way petrol prices are now, and then do it again? Of course you don't.
No.
Why do you do it to your body? Why are you filling up and then filling up again? And if you actually regard your body, what is it so special about your car that your car is worth more than your body?
I had a really nice car. I don't know. Look.
Do you see my point, though? This is how I'm talking. Here's the other point that I make in a hypnotic kind of a way without the trance.
Right.
When you say, Sharyn, I feel bad about wasting food. Did you say that? Yes, you did. And you know that it's true. You did say that, right? Okay, that potato that you might go, oh, no, I'm not going to have that. Boom, off the plate, throw it out, give it to the dog, do whatever you like, wrap it up.
Yep.
But when a person is suffering from diabetes or heart problems or how expensive is it to get well?
It costs a fortune.
It does.
Yes.
And you're talking about wasting a bloody potato. And sorry, I swore, but by the time that potato is on the plate for more than 5 minutes, it's gone down in value anyway.
I've never thought about the value of my potatoes before, but okay. But actually, Sharyn, I take your point, though. It's like when if you go to a restaurant, all right, and you've paid for the plate of food, you think, well, I paid for this. It cost me a lot, so I should finish. And I'll tell you from a personal standpoint, little shift in my my thoughts lately. So I've been trying to look after myself. I've been actually making a decent attempt, right? So I'm only eating when I'm hungry. That's it.
Good man.
It made a very big difference. So I'm not worried about, if it's breakfast or lunch or tea, whatever. If I'm hungry, that's when I'll eat. And I also, so I went out to dinner.
But do you know, can I just ask you something? Do you know what it feels like to feel hungry?
Of course I do. I'm a bloke.
Okay, but do you know, though, what does it feel like?
There's a grumbling feeling,
A grumbling feeling?
Yeah. It's like a
you don't get it.
thing.
Do you know I love being hungry?
Really?
And again, this is all part of if people out there are wanting to drop some excess kilos. I adore being hungry. To me, oh no, I can't make that metaphor on live video. No, it's rude. But actually eating before you go out to a beautiful succulent restaurant is like, I'll let you fill the gap. But do you know what I mean? You don't want to waste a good thing. And furthermore, why would you waste a good body? Your body is worth more than the potato you leave on the plate, even if it was half a steak.
Yep.
Feel liberated to tip it out, because if you wind up in an ED department because you've got some kind of a heart condition due to that, not only is it going to cost you time, it's going to cost you a bit of money as well.
Oh, most definitely. Well, here's what I was going to say before, that from my point of view, as I say, like I'm someone who's probably had it's a over enthusiastic relationship to food. A bit of emotional eating from time to time.
Yes.
I went out to dinner just the other day, and guess what? I ate the meal. I enjoyed the meal. I got 2/3 through. I've had enough, and I walked away. And I left that. It was expensive meal sitting there.
You.
But you know what felt? The feeling was strange, because before my feeling would be, I can't waste that. It's beautiful food. I've paid for it. Whatever. I actually felt really good about the fact that I left it on the plate. So psychologically, it was
on
a
you.
completely different feeling.
So good.
Yeah,
I love that.
It felt great. Absolutely felt fantastic.
If I was sitting any closer, I'd high five you. Do you know, like, just to give you an idea, this sounds really conceited. And if anybody was walking behind me at the time, they would have thought I was definitely very conceited.
Okay.
But I like cake. I like sweet stuff.
Sure.
And so I was getting some sweet stuff. I was at a party and I had my plate and I decided I would go for the chocolate cake, but I wanted to try the caramel as well.
Okay.
So when I bit into the caramel cake, and again, I'm saying all this as a metaphor to change all your listeners' ideas of the way they feel about food.
Right.
What I did was I put it in my mouth and I went, oh, yum, that's nice. So I kept on eating it, right? Then next minute, I grabbed the chocolate cake, I put it in my mouth, and it wasn't so nice. It tasted bitter. You know what I did? Yeah. Because I was right in the thick of doing my accreditation, I threw it in the bin and I went, I'm not wasting a good body. So, and I'm not talking about a good body as in the way it looks. I'm talking about you've got a good body.
No, I do not. But
you've got to love your body.
Okay, it's got jumper cables keeping it alive. But apart from that, it's all good. But I think it's not even about, to my mind anyway, it's not about how you look or it's just about how you feel. If you feel healthy about yourself, if you feel good about yourself. I felt good walking away from that meal. It seems ridiculous, but that is a mind shift difference. And I think that's something that okay, we get one shot at this. Why not make this the most positive experience that we can?
Yes, right. That's awesome. I love that. So we've got eat when you're hungry. And you've had the story about that. Stop when you feel good. You've had more than enough stories about that. And then eat. Do you remember the next one? Eat what you truly
desire.
Yes.
Desire.
You're good. She's only done one session with me. Eat what you truly desire. So sometimes people don't know whether they really desire it though. They think they do, but you got to feel into this stuff. You've got to go like, am I really, like, don't just eat that hamburger, that fake one, because it looks good and you think to yourself you like hamburgers when you might prefer to have a piece of cake. If your body is looking for sugar, have it.
I think there's a lot to be said about that. I really do. Yeah.
And have it in moderation. I have sugar. I eat sugar. And look, I've done this for years and years now. I mean, I came back from Sydney, 2011, 2012. So I did a couple of years back and forward in Sydney and practiced here in Perth. And I can tell you right now that eating when you're hungry, stopping when you feel good, and eating what you truly desire, you are switching on your body. But the last one, I wonder, this is the most important one. Do you know it without any clues? Let's put you to the test. This one is the most important one. Eat, and it's just one more word, but it's a long word. And it starts with a k.
Is it consciously?
Yes.
Boom.
She got it. She got it. And here's the story about eating consciously. If I told you that eating consciously not only will change all of the dynamics of the way you eat, it will definitely help you with all the three we've just talked about. But here's the drum roll. It switches on your metabolism.
Really?
Absolutely, because your subconscious brain is operating everything.
Of course it is.
Including your metabolism, your hormones, your metabolism. So how many of us, have you ever been to the movies before and you're sitting there eating popcorn?
And it becomes automatic.
Yeah.
And thinking, I don't even
And then you go, where did it go? Like what? Like, do you know what I mean? But you're sitting there and you're eating it, but you don't know that you're eating it.
I just want to be able to get to the point where I can use the box as a hat. But, that's
Of course, the hat man. So eating consciously and under trance and in hypnosis, I will talk about it, and I'll talk about the two guards at the gate.
Okay.
But, you know, like the chapter, I was at church on Sunday and they were talking about, you know, the Last Supper and how Jesus asked these disciples to keep a watch out, and they fell asleep.
It's a bit rude.
So what happens if you think about the palace, and there's a lot of money in the palace, and the guards fall asleep, the robbers can slip through. Yeah.
Of course they can. No doubt
So
about it.
when the guards are on watch, it's alert. You're guarding what's going through the door. Your mouth is the door.
I didn't think of it that way.
Of course you didn't.
Interesting.
I've never heard of it either.
But it's
yes.
true. And you do enjoy the food more, right?
Yeah.
You enjoy the experience more.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
You've got to guard your mouth. When you consciously put food into your mouth, and I really trust that when I'm telling it this way, it's going in deeper. And that's part of hypnosis, by the way.
Okay.
Being able to tell it in a way people remember, because people remember stories better than if you just tell them a bunch of rules. By telling them a story, like if you told me a story about how things blew up, you know, backstage over here in the studio,
it didn't happen.
I would probably never do it, because you told me a terrible story and you would scare me. And like the switch, I'll never do that again. Okay, no, private joke. So eating consciously, Sharyn, it will switch on your metabolism because your subconscious brain begins to work, and that means that that's happening. So yeah, so that's it. So have you got any questions on those things? Because that's really important. I know that it's putting you on the spot again, but if you've got, feel free to ask me questions as we go through it.
What about scrolling through my phone emails while I'm having my breakfast? Is that what you call not?
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Now, I thought you were going to say something else then, and I'm like, oh, my gosh, she's asking the wrong person, because I just go down rabbit holes with my phone. I mean, I've got my phone permanently in my hand, and I'm very attached, so I'll be there. So, you know, I didn't know what you were going to say, but would I do it with food? No, because then I'm taking away from the food, and then I'm not giving my body's not receiving.
There
are so many dirty jokes I could be saying.
There is,
right,
and I'm holding back like you can't believe. So, it's unbelievably true, though. Because I've done it, okay? Because you know, sometimes I think, Terry, what do you want about? But I'll give it a crack. Okay, I'm all for giving things a bit of a try. Yeah. And the conscious eating thing works. Yes. For me, okay, you don't eat as much, which is great. You know, there's a positive thing for your health there, right?
Yes.
The other thing, though, again, positive thing for my life is I enjoy it more. You taste it.
Yes.
Now, you mentioned before you get on the phone and you're scrolling away, right? Guilty as charged, okay? Simple thing, bing, boom, 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 boom. I do the exact same thing. You know, the ads come on TV, not that I watch TV much, but, you know, okay, whatever, you know, anything like that. Any opportunity, you pick it up and you start scrolling. We're addicted to these things.
We are. We definitely are.
Yeah. Now, what I've done in my life is I've got a little habit of now I go and leave the phone in the other room. By putting it in the other room, out of mind, out of sight, I can go and eat that meal or do that thing or whatever happens to be.
Good job.
And it's not going to get into the way of it. And you will, seriously, you will taste every single spice in that meal. And I like my meals spicy. Yeah, so you taste it all. It's all good.
He's got a bit of the Indian blood.
Just a little bit, yeah.
Just a tad.
40%.
And then, it's a fair bit. But I'll tell you what, it comes out occasionally.
It does. There's a little head nod that rocks in occasionally.
Yeah. I'm telling you, I had something there I wanted to say. Yes, that's what it is. I'm glad I didn't lose it, because I'm going to do a little bit of free advertising here, not for myself. However, there is a live stream coming up at 5 p.m. today. Yeah. And I will say, and I can see now by this conversation how it could be integrated together. A friend of ours is coming into the studio. She's going to be talking about a little product called Skinny Drops. Yep. And now, to have a little bit of a head start. This may help reset your system. So even though I'm teaching you from the mindset side, so we want it to change here and we want it to be the long haul. I saw you were going to yawn then, and that was a really good sign.
There was no yawn. I yawn.
Saw it.
No.
I saw it.
No.
No, but it wasn't an insult. I have that effect on everyone.
Okay, fine.
It's the hypnosis queen in me. No, but seriously, things like that, and it will be 5 p.m. So go to Edge Radio and watch it, or go onto Aaron's page. You'll see it coming forward.
It'll be everywhere.
So you've got that down packed. So Sharyn, do you have any other questions around that? I keep putting her on the spot.
I know. I've got the eating when I'm feeling good, like the not finishing the meal. That's the one I definitely need to work on.
Okay, so we will do that. I will integrate that into your hypnotic script. So I'll make a hypnosis, and we will talk to your subconscious brain about that, because what you're saying is that the food, whatever's left over on the plate, what you're telling me, if I'm going to be radical about this, is that that's worth more than your body. I don't mind getting down in the dirt with people when I do this stuff.
But it's true. You're making a choice, aren't you? I'm a very competitive person, okay? I want to win, all right? So sometimes, and this will work for different people, so it might not work for you, but maybe somebody else is listening. But if you are a competitive person and you feel that by leaving that meal behind, it's a win, okay? You know, that's a part of the way that I sell it.
Yeah.
Like, again, I was in a situation where somebody bought a bowl of chips, you know, and was sitting in the middle of the table. We're having drinks and all of that. And guess what? I didn't eat a single chip.
Wow.
Right? Because guess what? I would have done it because of habit, because it's a social thing, and you reach forward and you have one. And I'm like, I'm not hungry. Like inside, I'm talking to myself here. I'm not hungry. Why would I have the chips? So competitively, I said to myself, I wonder if I can have absolutely no chips whatsoever.
Good job.
And I did.
I like that. And that was great, because you asked yourself a question.
I do.
And
all the time.
I would ask you to do the same thing. Am I hungry? Do I want this? Am I feeling like I want to have those chips? And what happens if you do, like I'm an absolute sucker for pavlova. Okay. And pavlova, you can inhale it, man. So, I mean, it's so easy to eat. So I'll have a slice, and without fail, I'll always want to go back for another. Okay. And it's just one of those things. But you know what? This is what I say to people. If you are tempted to go back for more, make a deal with yourself. You got to bargain with yourself, right? You've got to allow yourself to think that the subconscious mind's going to get its way, because your subconscious mind is a bit like a child. So you've got to treat it like it doesn't understand. So when you say, okay, I'm going to ask you to wait for 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Perhaps walk up to the other side of the room and come back again and do a few things. You can do a lot in 5 minutes, as you know.
Absolutely.
Go and choose a whole selection of great songs on Edge Radio, just like I did today on Wednesday.
BestMusicEdgeRadioAustralia.com.
That's the one. All these adverts. Gee whiz. Anyway, here we are. If you can do that and say, I'm going to give myself 5 minutes, that's going to appease your subconscious, like the child in you. So, okay, I'm going to do that. Let's do that. Then I guarantee, because remember, we've also trained you to think about what you want and how you're feeling about it. I guarantee in 5 minutes your body chemistry will change.
You reckon?
You will feel differently about it. You will not feel exactly the same desire.
I like desires. They're good.
Yeah, but when it's too much food,
that's not. That's not
moderation. Yeah. Does that make sense, Sharyn?
Yeah.
And look, I just want to say that I did give you an exercise. Would you like to tell the public about our huge, big workout exercise that you have to do?
Yep. I've got to take a nice deep breath up as high as I can and focus on pulling in everything and lifting up, like my pelvis, abdomen, whatever, and bringing everything up and taking a deep breath in and hold it for as long as I feel comfortable, and then out the mouth, just slowly releasing it, and I do sets of 3. So do 3 of those mostly in the morning as soon as I get up as my main one. But I have been doing it about 3, 4 or 5 times a day, depending if I think of it. Like I
that
did a
is
set
beautiful.
before.
I know you had an injury. You had an injury, and believe it or not, I had someone build up muscle in their arms doing this, and it was visualizing that they were lifting weights and they were just doing the action kind of movement.
I thought you were about to do the YMCA.
Yeah, I know. But the magic in what Sharyn has just said is not just the life force of drawing breath in through the nose, because that's always a good reset and good to regulate the nervous system, but it's also bringing in the pelvis, the stomach, and tightening everything. So you're bringing it in, and what you're doing is you're exercising your stomach muscles. It's the greatest way to really trim down really fast around the middle. And then letting it out and releasing it. So we'll be doing this on $1 Billion Energy, another advertisement. So May 2nd, Edge Radio Australia, come and join us. And you can get a ticket. And look, we sold tickets online and they got so much out of it. But we will be doing this exercise with the stomach and the breath and everything else. So thank you, Sharyn. You're breathing in. That's it, holding it, tightening everything, and then the magic is letting it out. All right, so now we're going to get to the final piece. He was just about to end it, weren't you?
I'm hovering.
I can see it. I can see.
I'm making plans.
Okay, he's
I'm working
making
on
plans.
things, you know.
But, you know, we always save the best for last.
I thoroughly agree with that, okay?
You know?
Leave the crowd with a high, right?
Yeah. I even do that with food.
Do you really?
Now we're on top. Oh, yeah. I leave the best for last.
Oh.
Yeah.
The little tick at the end, right?
Yeah. Why not? Yeah, it's cool. So, okay, that's really good. Now, just to give you some conscious competency around what we did, and, you know, you don't have to share this, but I think it's important for people to know that in our last session, in our first session, we struck gold about when you started to put on weight. And it wasn't in adult life. It was, how old were you?
Somewhere between 6 and 8.
Exactly.
Maybe even 5, 6.
Okay. Yeah, I thought it was 8, but hey, you know you were there, and your subconscious mind knows. The important part on this one is that Sharyn had picked up a cue that we discovered, and that cue came from something that was said to her. Now, you don't have to share it, but you know what I'm talking about, don't you, Sharyn? Yeah. So we were able to take her back to that moment when something very significant was said to her, and from that point on, that happened. But something else happened as well. Something else happened in the same pattern in your family. Is that correct? When it was like the same thing happened to someone in your family. And I guess the point, it doesn't matter, you don't have to share it, but the whole point is that we pick up these habits, we pick up our eating habits based upon where we were way back when that first trigger switched off that switch and either caused us to overeat for subconscious reasons. So having done that, what are you going to visualize for yourself going forward? So what are you going to look like in the future?
I'm going of a physique that is able to be agile and move around, jump off the floor.
I like that. Like a trampoline.
Jogging, like a trampoline, like having strength, like having the core strength to be able to, live function without pain, like, and a pain. I would like to think that I don't have pain.
You can see this is not easy.
It's tough as.
You can
It really
see,
is.
and Sharyn, you're not the only one. Don't feel like you're stumbling over your words. In fact, you know, this is something that I want to challenge the audience with, and that is, what do you look like in your future self when you're living into that desire that's become a reality?
Okay.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Totally understand.
Yeah. And, you know, while we want you to be specific, you can do this in the morning. You can dot point it. Okay, I'm on a trampoline. I know you like to trampoline when you're a kid, so I was privy to that from our first session. But, you know, you could be outdoors and you're agile, you're moving around, your body is moving.
Yeah.
And how does it look and how does it feel? And become really specific. But you can see that people struggle,
Of course it is.
just stating what they want.
Yeah, because we get built up with guilt and this and that, all these pressures that society throws on us. And then society does it, throws it all on, and you think, hey, you know what? More, boom, 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 and you bring it on yourself, right? You start to beat yourself up. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that if you're, and everybody's different. I mean, my personal belief on the weight loss side of things is, I wouldn't, again, it's a very personal thing. I'm not chasing a particular body. I'm chasing a personal fitness of feeling healthier, having more energy, less pain. I have a lot of pain because I've got a lot of injuries. I used to do sports a lot when I was younger, and I've you know, bent just about everything I've got, right?
Is that a brag?
Humble. No, it's really not. No, but I've lived a very good life of having very good experiences, big experiences. But when you've stacked on the weight, right, and when you get older, you pay the price for it. So why not lose a bit of weight and pay less of a price? So when, it's not about looking in the mirror, it's not about anything, it's not about clothes or this or that. It is just about feeling a little bit like I used to, right? Having that level of energy and
so you
go
know
for
what
that.
you need to do, you need to practice your NLP skills of getting that vision of yourself at a young point, and it might have been on a particular day or an occasion, and visualizing it in front of you and stepping into it and allowing that to go through every muscle and cell of your body. But we're going to finish up because we are getting close to time now. And Sharyn, obviously, as I said, this is not your hypnosis session, but boy, we're going to have a really good one. And somehow we'll get you back to talk about your results later down the track. But this is just a quick thing that I want you to do, and anybody that's listening and watching. Get really clear about what you want. Okay. You want to be agile. You want to be moving around. You want to, I get your drift. Okay. And I get that it's hard to state it like that. But if you write it down, it's going to be easier. And, you know, get specific. What are you wearing then? You know, what are you doing? What's so good about it? And then comes the cracker question.
All right.
What is it?
What is it?
You got to go down through it 7 times. Do you remember kind of what it is? It is, why do you want it?
Yeah.
Why?
I believe in why very, very strongly. Want to thank you, Sharyn, because I'll tell you right now, coming up here, being on air and talking about these things is tough. And of course, you know, Terry throws in that, you know, the quiz, right? Just right on you. So, yeah, I really want to tell you how much I appreciate that.
And that's an exercise for you to do.
What's that?
I said that's an exercise for you to do. So it was a rhetorical question for everyone. So why do you want what you want? And you've got to get that answer, and you've got to keep on finding why you want that. And then, you know, let's meet up and let's do our session.
Sounds good. And with that, we will close the show. Thank you so much for being part of it. It is, of course, the Genius Zone here on Edge Radio Australia.